Thank you for tuning into the Patricia Show. My name is Patricia. Please press like and subscribe and share this audio with someone who you may think need it. I was just watching the Braxtons, and Tonya Braxton is having problems with her health. When you constantly are confessing that you are close to God, that you believe in God, and everything else, your whole world is in God, then why don't you try to be healed by God? Tony Braxton has this lupus, and she had a stent put in her heart, and she was getting ready to go on her residency in Vegas, and she was so worried that she would overwork herself because if she has a heart attack, they cannot save her, she said. I was sitting here thinking, this family is always professing to believe in God. And why isn't she trying to bring in God healing? If you believe in God like that, why wouldn't you try to be healed by God? That is one thing I don't understand. Now, some of you may have, like for instance, if you're dealing with spirit attachments, it's it's an in-depth process that you have to do in order to bring in God's healing, because those spirits that are attached to you will try to do everything within their power to stop you from bringing it in. So it's a little bit more different. But if you do not have if you do not have spirit attachments and you're just ill and, that's it, then, and you believe in God, why are you not bringing in God's healing? How can you believe in God, but you don't bring in God's healing? A friend of mine, she died this year. She was an older woman, but very good friend of mine. And she was telling me one day that she really believed in God. And I said, no, you don't. She says, yes, I do. I really, really trust God. I said, no, you really don't. And most people don't. They just talk a good game. But when you come right down to it, they don't. She says, how can you say that? Yes, I do. So a couple of months later, she had to have surgery on one of her knees. She was calling me and her other friend to ask if she should have this surgery. What I said to her is, a couple of months ago, I just told you that you say you trust God, but you don't. She says, yeah, I know you said that. That's not true. I said, if it's not true, then why are you calling me and asking me, should you have the surgery? Why aren't you taking it before the Lord and asking him if you can have surgery, if you could, need to have surgery? And she got really quiet and said, you know what? I think you're right. All this time, I really thought, really believed, I totally trusted God. But she said, you're right. I can't totally trust God if I'm asking you, should I get this done? I said, absolutely. And if you really trust in God, why aren't you asking him for a healing? She said to me, at the time she was on a walker and she wanted to be able to walk without a walker again. And she told me that she had been praying every day for God to heal her, and God had not healed her. See, this is the problem. You don't know you don't know how to bring in that healing. That's the problem. You go to church every Sunday, some of you once a month, whatever the case might be, but they're not even teaching you how to bring in this power of God because they probably don't know. So you just think that you could go and say, God heal me. And on some cases, maybe it will, but some cases it's not, because that's not the way you bring in God's healing. So now, I think it was Joel Epstein that preacher. His mother had cancer back in the 80s. And what she did, she seen herself as being healed. She put pictures of herself all over her refrigerator, everywhere she looked, of when she was healed and strong and healthy. So I guess they give her these gifts that they would give her, place mats or something that they would give, and dishes that they would give her every year. So then they were saying, oh, they weren't going to give it to her the next year because she wasn't going to be here. The mother said, oh, I'm going to be here. That's for sure. And she started ordering whatever this is that she would order every year. She was totally and completely healed. Why? Because she seen herself as being healed. She didn't accept anything else but herself being healed. So now when Joel's father got sick, he told Joel he didn't understand why some people are healed by God and some people are not. That's because you're not doing it correctly. You're not bringing in the healing energy correctly. So when you pray to God, some people, that prayer get through, and some people it won't. I don't want to explain to you at this time why your prayer don't get through every time. I'd have to do that at a later date because it's going to be very confusing to you because you've never been taught this. They're teaching you about God that is totally incorrect. So it'll be really hard for you to grasp it. But I'm going to write a book, and I don't know if I'm going to release that information, to be honest. I really need to pray to God and see if I should answer it. But there is a reason why all prayers are not answered. Okay, so anyway, if you want your requests to be answered in every time, you have to live it, sleep it, breathe it. Let me tell you. So let's say Toni Braxton, let's use her for example, because I started off using her. So let's say that she's scared that she may have a heart attack. And with her, with her doing her shows, she said, I think she had to be on stage for an hour and a half. And she said that is very taxing on her body and stuff. So she was afraid, that if she has a heart attack, the doctor said she wouldn't survive it. So now what would she do in this case? She has lupus as well. So I would think she would bring her body into totally and complete healed, is what I would think she would do. In order to do this, what is it she needs to do? See herself as being healed. See herself as being whole. And then do affirmations. Affirmations are are things, a word that you say, confirming whatever it is you want. You're saying this to the universe, God. So when you continue to say it more than once, God takes heed to it and to begin to bring about what it is you're confirming. This man his sister was ill, and she had a lot of illnesses. So this guy said that he wrote them all down and just did these affirmations that his sister was whole, complete, and cured of, and he would name this disease. He did it several times a day. Don't you know that his sister was healed in 2 weeks? 2 weeks. She was healed of every single illness she had. And she had several of them. She was healed of them all. Why? Why is that? Because we all are gods within our own rights. We are the children of God. Whatever you affirm in your life, God will bring it about. When you be saying, I'm broke, I don't have no money. You say that all the time. Maybe you'll say, oh, I really want that. I really want a BMW, but I don't have enough money to buy it. What are you affirming? You're broke. Oh, I really want to get a new dress, but I don't have enough money. And then your kids might say, Ma, can you buy this for me for Christmas? No, we can't be buying stuff like that. I don't have enough money. So you're affirming that you don't have enough money. And what happens? You don't have enough money. When you affirm things, I don't care if it's good things or bad things. When you constantly repeat it and constantly confirm it, God is going to bring it about. It's not like God can sit, you are, well, let me say this first. It's not like God can sit there and determine like, oh, Barbara is saying that she doesn't have money, so I'm not going to fulfill that for her because that's negative, and we want her to have money. The energy of God, that divine light and love, cannot break things down like that. You're thinking of God as a human because that's what you've taught, but that is untrue. God is light and love, and it doesn't rationalize things the way you do. All it knows is that you are affirming something over and over, and God knows to create it for you, whatever that is, negative or positive. If you constantly affirm, there is no good men out here, all the good men are taken. Every man you meet in your world would not be a good man, because that's what you're affirming over and over and over again. You affirming that there's not a good man out here. Now, in my world, I have a good man, because I'm not going, you know what I mean? Because I'm not affirming that there's no good men out here. I'm affirming that, hey, there's lot of good men out here. So in my world, there's a lot of good men. But in your world, it's not, because you're constantly affirming that. My cousin, everybody is not blessed to be gorgeous by earthly standards, but we all are beautiful in the size and the eyes of God. So I knew this girl that wasn't, she was very unique looking, but wasn't beautiful in earth standing. People wouldn't have said she was beautiful. But she would always say, oh, good men are always is in my world, and they just come to me like avalanches. She used to always say that. Let me tell you something. I am not lying to you people. This girl would always have a boyfriend. She break up with one, there go another one. Break up with that one, here come another one. Always. And the women, and a friend of hers was what you call earthly beauty. And she could never get a good man. You know why? Because she used to always say, I'm gonna stop looking, girl. Ain't no good man out here. They are all taken. So I'm not gonna keep trying to find me a good man. It's not none out here. And she kept affirming that for years, over and over. It was so much to when you see her, that was her anthem. Ain't no good man out here, girl. Ain't no good man out here. So that is what she created. If you want to create good health, and we were using Toni Braxton as an example, she should constantly affirm, I am God's perfection. Constantly confirm, I am God's perfection. Now, there is some healers out here to tell you, no, don't say that, because your subconscious mind already thinks that you're perfection, and so therefore it won't understand that command. That's not true, because I did it, and it does create perfection. It'll immediately move whatever around you, tying you up, or whatever is going on. So you could say that, I am God's perfection. Or you could say, I am completely and totally healed. You could say that. Or you could say a specific thing. Like, I no longer have lupus. I am totally and completely healed. Because that's what we're saying about Toni Braxton. So grab your affirmations and begin to affirm yourself into perfect health. Thank you so much for tuning into the Patricia Show. My name is Patricia.